Good afternoon, partners. This is Sherman Crancer, Senior Partner Channel Development Manager for the Western United States. I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we've got a great great program for you today. It's really how to sell Skype for Business and enable a mobile remote workforce with enterprise mobility and security suite, EMS. All right, so let's get into the agenda today. We're going to start off with our thought leadership portion of it. We're going to get into a near and dear friend of mine, Sam from Accumore, as our special guest today. You can't miss special guest, absolute thought leader, trailblazer. We'll talk about the package of the week, which is going to include Skype for Business, so hopefully you can use that to get some big margins. How to sell Skype for Business, so we'll talk about those customer triggers that the public is really looking at, and how you can position it to sell it a lot better. We'll get into EMS, which is really awesome, and actually Sam is going to give us a lot of tools and tips on how he's actually providing it to the customer base, and then we'll get into expectations of Project LeadGen, and lastly resources, which is fantastic. So we talked last week real quick. We talked about sending in your videos, right? Sending in testimonial videos. And what's really important is I looked at my email box. I didn't see any of them. So I'm going to go ahead and throw out a contest. I just ordered 20 drones. And these are those 4 helicopter things with a camera on it. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to offer it to the whole partner group that's on here. If you send me a video testimonial, then I'm going to send you one back, because I want you to put that on your website. We're going to go ahead and raffle off a pretty awesome drone from Microsoft, and maybe I'll even throw in a Yeti cup. That's a possibility. All right. So let's get into this. Thought leadership. What is it? All right, thought leadership. And this is what, we're here to kind of, start our week with something new, something fresh, something that's going to help you, become a better, productive, better person, better employee, or better owner of your business. So the first thing is really the term remarkable. What is it? You've heard about me saying it a few times, but what is remarkable? And that's just really trying to set yourself apart from the rest of the crowd. Being different is okay in this situation, because you want to be better. You want to be faster. You want to sell more. You want to grow your business faster. You want to take it on. And there's some key traits, that come along with being remarkable. So, the first thing that I do every morning when I wake up is I wake up and I do my breathing exercises. Actually, it's this small, meditation thing that we learned here at Microsoft at our, peak performance training. But then the next thing is I write down a list. I said, okay, what am I going to do today that's going to be remarkable? What am I going to be able to do today that's going to be different than my peers, or different than anybody else out there? Next, I think about this. I think about when I want to be remarkable, or I want to move forward with with what I'm doing to helping partners. I think about, what is my legacy going to be, right? What is the legacy that I'm going to leave? And it's not just for Microsoft, but when I own my own business, or when I was working in other industries, it's really, I keep asking myself this, what is my legacy? And that helps me to formulate the idea of being remarkable every day, because I think about tomorrow. I think about 10 years from now. I think about goals, and I think about projecting to those goals. The next thing I wanted to bring up here is really about leaders and what they do. And I read this incredible article, and this article was about some of the most successful billionaires out there, and what do they do when it comes to learning. And literally, they spend 5 hours a week learning new things. It was Richard Branson, it was Bill Gates, who's our founder, right? And they spend 5 hours a week learning something new. Now, if you're in technology and you're trying to figure out how, how are you going to change, this is the greatest opportunity in the world, is to say, okay, every day I'm going to learn something new, whether it's Azure or is it going to be Power BI, or let me go ahead and tinker with something. Let me use my IUR rights, but learn something new every day to, change yourself, to help you move forward. Next thing that I do is I'm a big proponent of this one thing. Leaders and people who are remarkable do what they talk about. They don't talk about what they're going to do. And that's the biggest differentiator between somebody who's highly, highly successful and somebody who's always hoping to be successful. And that's what I want to leave you with. I want to leave you with, hey, stop talking about it. Let's just do it. Next trait is remarkable people are possessed with winning and competition and achieving. And I think everybody here on this call can be possessed with winning and achieving. And I hope that you are. And then lastly, we talked about this last week, just do it. And what does it mean? It means simply just do it. And that's what we want to leave you with for this week. So take on your week, and we'll go into something new next week. All right. So now we have a guest of the week, and I want to tell you, set up this guest. Good friend of mine, Sam. I've known him for several years, and I like to say that he's a leader in our industry, but really a trailblazer, somebody who really grasped the Office 365's concept very early on, and was able to network within Microsoft to be able to be one of the very first CSP direct distributors in the country, met with our CEO, and just a fantastic individual with a lot of great insight. And his name is Sam. Sam, could you, Sam Agarwal, could you possibly introduce yourself and tell us, who you are, what your company, and what you specialize in?
Yeah, thank you, Sherman, for the kind introduction. So, as you mentioned, I used to work in IT industry with various small and medium-sized companies for over 15 years. And then I realized when the financial crisis hit that it's going to be difficult for many companies to afford me our services full time, and at the same time cloud services was coming up. Microsoft and few other public cloud vendors were coming into the market, and I realized it's a good opportunity to be putting managed services around Microsoft Office 365 and other public cloud services, where bulk of the responsibility of managing server, patches, security upgrades, and so forth is being handled by Microsoft, and consumers just have to pay, small recurring, monthly payments rather than a big upfront payment. So it was a big game-changing moment in the industry, and when there is a disruption, there is a new opportunity. So we started with that and ran with that.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. I tell you, Sam is really, really someone to listen to. He's got some incredible insights, and that's why we're going to move into insights and thoughts from Sam Agarwal. So, Sam, tell us, how have you built your successful business?
So, most businesses were started by technicians. They are good in one thing, technical things, but sales, marketing, and communication skills and persuasion skills and, is a different skill. So, you have to learn it a hard way. If you are fortunate, if you have prior sales and marketing experience, then it's much better. But, you can only get so much word of mouth referrals, and you cannot grow a business beyond that word of mouth and referrals. So you have to involved in marketing activities, and the Microsoft MCC program. It's a very good program. It teaches you how to do education-based marketing rather than just email blast and cold calling and so forth. Education-based marketing, content-based marketing. It's a pretty phenomenal program that MCC has.
That's great. That's great. So, let me ask you this: what are 3 things that you're doing every day in a sales and marketing focus? Like, what can you share with the group and the team?
Yeah, the 3 things we should be doing, we probably not doing good job in it, but it's every day we should be following up with our existing customers, how we can help them, support them, probably with the new Microsoft Cloud services coming up pretty much every week or every month, how they can use and leverage and grow their business. Second is every day we should be following with our prospects. It takes 7 to 12 touches before a prospect decide to do business with you. So you have to keep following up with the prospects, and also we have to keep, do a nurturing campaign on suspects at the same time.
Ah, okay. That's awesome. So, for some of the folks that are not on this bridge, that might be on the other bridge, hey, I went ahead and I put in the attendance to attend this meeting in that Skype thing. So please remove yourself from the other call and get onto this one. Thanks, Sam. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to interrupt with that one. Hey, so how are you partnering? You're an excellent partner. I remember when I was, sitting there, as a partner, you and I kept talking about different things, and I could just always tell that, you do a lot of work with different partners. So tell me, like, how are you partnering inside MCC, and what are the benefits?
So even though we decided to focus primarily on Microsoft, but Microsoft itself, the practice is pretty huge, and you can't be expert in everything. So we realized we are expert in few different things, and the areas like Power BI and Azure and SharePoint and few other things where we are not experts. So we partner with other Microsoft partner who specialize in that, so that we can provide the complete value to our customers. So we partner with other Microsoft partner, as well as we partnered with the Sherman programs. We partner with other organization. And doing the regular events in those organizations, and doing the CIE events and so forth. So partnership everywhere, partnership with organization, partnership with similar companies who are in the business of selling printers, because we don't do that, and hardwares, and partnering with other service provider who can add on to our services.
That's interesting. So you're using MCC not just to do events, but you're also saying, okay, there's some people that I want to partner with because they do something that I don't do, right, and I do something that they don't do.
Yeah. So okay. Partnering with the organization, partnering everywhere,
Partnering everywhere. Yeah. All right. So you've been in the program for about a year and a half. And you and I have talked about, collaborating on some things, and we worked together on one association in particularly. TIE is the association. Can you tell us a little about that and the impact, what you're able to drive from this MCC involvement?
Yeah, so we've been fortunate. Sherman nominated us to be part of a TIE, which stands for the Indus Entrepreneurs. It has a whole bunch of entrepreneurs from Indians or South Asia subcontinent, and they also have a pretty good roster of all the mentors who help these budding entrepreneurs grow their businesses. So with the MCC events, again, you have to meet these mentors and other successful entrepreneurs 7 to 12 times before they trust you and want to do business with you. So ongoing, events with them, and meeting with them, and building relationship over time, building trust and confidence, and slowly we are able to get over 700 seats of Office 365 from this relationship we built through the TIE program. And we had a trade booth in the conference, and ongoing MCC events, CIE events with the association and so forth.
That's amazing. So over 700 seats out of this 1-year engagement, out of one organization. So that tells you that there are organizations that you can drive significant seats with, and it's about vertical markets. And that's what we keep talking about, vertical markets. All right, so Sam, what is something that you need help with that I might be able to answer?
Yeah, so, with the cloud, the game has changed. Used to be hunter thinking. You go, you hunt a big thing, and you enjoy a feast. But now it's like a farmer mentality. You realize the revenue over time, period of time, and a small incremental revenue over time versus a big upfront thing. So it involves some investment from our side and realizing what is the customer life cycle value is, where you can reap the rewards over time, but it involves a initial upfront, initial so forth. So that's where there is a little bit challenging in this cloud model. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm thinking about that is needing help with is I think one good idea, Sam, is to really kind of reform your business a little bit. Like take a step back, and then say, okay, what can I do to increase margin and reduce operating costs, right? Maybe I want to hand it off. Maybe I want to quarterback more things and kind of get myself out of the minutia of the day-to-day, so that I can basically focus on the revenue driving type of scenario. Do you see yourself in the weeds a lot, like taking care of customer problems or helping? I mean, migrations, I know you have a team for that, but do you see yourself in the weeds a lot?
Yeah, we are always working in the business. We like to hire more people and scale it, but the profit margins changes when you hire more people and if you cannot grow rapidly. So as a small business owner, you're always working in the trenches and also trying to grow the business at the same time. I have no complaints. This business has been good for us, but scaling it to next level, it requires a different set of skill sets.
Awesome. Okay. That kind of goes into, we're going to talk about advanced support for partners. Might be a great way to have a resource within Microsoft to provide, you as well as if you look at hiring, a full body, right, that's $60,000 to $90,000, instead pay $25,000 a year for advanced support. Wow, much different scenario. That might reduce your overall operating costs. Okay, and lastly, what is the core package of offerings that you provide?
So we haven't done a good job of creating packages, but we go with the flow. We meet with the customer, understand what their problems are, where we can add values, and based on their needs, we create a custom package for them. But we are realizing in order to scale much faster, we are looking into creating various packages where small customers can buy directly, and that can increase the speed of the transaction. So we are working on those.
Okay, perfect. I like what you're saying. Is that you and I talked about this before. You do a lot of Office 365, a lot of it's a land grab for you, right?
Yeah.
The land grab, and I love that. I love that idea because it's a land grab. You're getting as much as you can. It's this one time in a lifetime period, right? That you can just grab. Yeah.
Yeah, and land and expand. So land grab, and we can land and expand because Microsoft is keep coming up with new services. So we like to expand, those opportunities with our customer all the time.
Okay, cool. Well, that kind of leads us right. Thank you, Sam. Right into package of the week. When we're talking about this, and this is in relation to what we are going to cover today, which is Skype for Business and EMS. So what I came up with was just a package of of the week. I had to come up with a name, right? And this is what we need you to come up with. Have your own name. You can use this one because this isn't something from Microsoft. This is really from me just thinking about, okay, how do we name something so that we can get away from price and we can get into higher margin type of scenarios. So I called it the Communications Gold Complete Package. And this package starts out with your MSP Tier 1 services. And I would like to give a little bit of advice that I think that one of the ideas to reduce your overall operating expenses is to use one of our great distributors to do your Tier 1 and do your Tier 1 for triage, okay? I'm not saying that you're going to use them to do all of your work because Tier 1s are typically, just answer the phone, make sure that you look good. So you provide that, and you can get that anywhere between $7 and $14 a month, but you should be charging $40 or $50 for that. Second, Office 365, E5 with PSTN calling. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ways to skin this cat, right? But if you give them the full complement in this package, and you're not looking at the price, what's really important about this is that the value of the package, and I'm not just talking about email exchange, or I'm not talking about software, or I mean about phone stuff, but I'm talking about they get 5 full downloads of Office Pro 2016 with updates the whole year, and you have to think about that. That's like $2,000 worth of software per user that they're getting. So look, we're getting away from price, but we want to also provide them with a communication engine that they can scale, that they can work, that they can reduce costs with different voice calls. But it's unlimited local and long distance, right? And now they not only get an upgrade on their system, but they also get the full complement of Office 365, which includes E3. So that one, then next one is the next part of your package is full integration and migration of Exchange and telco services. Now, what I mean by this, what I mean by telco services is I think there's a revenue stream that just about 80% of the partners here are missing. Okay, and I can help you with that. But what I would do is I would go ahead and I would say, hey, what is your, the cost of your internet, right? And I'd ask them, can I get one of those bills to see how fast it is? Great. And then what you would do is you'd contact a master distributor, and this is a company that provides phone and internet connections, and you say, hey, can I get a better rate than this? And then they give you a better deal, better rate, and you bring that to your package. It's usually 20% rate of reduction on their services, and you can, as a partner, get a really big residual between 15 and 20% of the total monthly recurring costs. So this is beautiful. So now I'm talking about margins here, right? We're always talking about margins. How do we get bigger margins? Well, if you start talking about something that you typically just leave on the table because you don't want to deal with it, and we're just talking internet because we're not talking the phones. We're going to do the phones with the PSTN calling. Next, you're going to say, hey, we're going to provide you a reduction in your virtual meeting costs. Just got to think about that by itself. Think about Skype Teams, a brand new thing that came out. But imagine that you no longer have to get 4 or 5 different accounts for their conference calls. Now, each and every person has their own. That's so powerful these days, because what happens in a company that's got 60 or 70 people and they only have 4 different conference call numbers to keep it down, right? And the reality is they get tied up, they cost a lot of money, but you are going to come in and say, hey, we're going to reduce that. Then you're going to give them a security assessment and assurance. So this kind of coincides with providing, mobility and multi-factor authentication installation with EMS. So you're sliding EMS in there, and then possibly add the Azure Active Directory right into that. So now that they have a hybrid environment, and then lastly, you're going to be putting in training. Now, What's interesting about this package here is that we call this the gold complete. So you can go ahead and reduce that to have like the silver complete or the bronze complete and reduce some of these things. But if you see there, you didn't see anything on EMS as part of the package because I just put in mobility and multi-factor authentication installation. Right? Because what you don't want them to do is be able to line item you to death, right? I say, oh, well, hey, wait a minute, that Office 365 SKU is coming in at $20 a month, but I can get it over here for $18. And the reason why we're talking about packages is because you're not selling price, you're selling the idea of communications gold complete. Not only can they communicate out there, but they can also secure their environment and they can watch their mobility and their devices. So hopefully you can take a look at this. This is an example. This isn't something that Microsoft says go ahead and do. It's just an example. I'm just trying to do this to help you understand how to move forward with this. You can use it. You can copy it. It's not copyrighted. They're happy to help you along with it. All right, now let's get into Skype for Business, voice, and it's really a complete platform for all your voice and communication needs. We're going to go over some announcements towards the end of this section that are going to blow your mind away. Deeply integrated with Office 365, we offer a broad choice of different phones, but I would say instead of using the hybrid phone scenario where they actually get those IP phones, I think you should really be pushing the fact that they can use a soft phone. We're seeing mobility just absolutely explode, right? 40% of all businesses have, mobile devices. They work in all the different places. you have their smartphone figured out. That's moving away from the brick and mortar. That shows that you understand what you're doing. But they do have Active Directory, SharePoint, and other existing infrastructure as part of Skype for Business Voice. So now this is interesting. Stats. There's good stats here. 38% of U.S. enterprises prefer Microsoft for voice more than any other vendor. When you have it in and it's on, it works. And it's a surprising, it works so well. There's hiccups and everything, but it really just works well. The nice thing too is it's placed in the top right-hand quadrant for Gartner's Unified Communications Magic Quadrant, and that talks really that's a combination of several factors. It's strategic planning, it's thought leadership, it's the ability to advance and move forward. And what you're going to find is that having it tied all the way into Office 365 and work seamlessly without any plugins. Holy smokes, that's a value add. And then really what happened is we basically used the Skype platform, our Link platform, married them together to give you a real global reach and a reach that is significant and easy to deploy in. All right, so you're going to eliminate the need for all your PBXs. So we're going to talk about peer-to-peer calling, PSTN calling, enterprise calling features, and on-site networking. Those are the things that we're going to kind of cover here. So really on a peer-to-peer calling basis, I'm just going to throw this back to Sam here real quick. So, Sam, what is your explanation of peer-to-peer calling for the group?
Yeah, so what we have found in the team environment within a company, the communication usually start with email, and then they like to escalate it to a chat session, and because there's a limitation of email, so they want to escalate to a chat session, and there's a limitation in chat, so users like to escalate that conversation to an audio or video call, and then further escalate to a screen sharing. So within Outlook, you can do all of that: email, instant messaging, audio, video chat, screen sharing, and however you want to communicate. So all mode of communication is available, which is very powerful within companies, especially if they are different team members are working for different locations, so forth.
That's all. I love that explanation. I really do. I think the acceleration point. You're starting small, you're kind of moving up. I think that's great. All right, so Skype comes with easy to use features. If you haven't used it yet, it's really pretty simple. It's pretty intuitive. It's literally big buttons. Call, get your list, your business directory, fast redial, and extension carrying. So it's kind of cool too. So you can kind of you're middle of a meeting, but hey, you got to go. You can go ahead and forward it to your voice or to your actual cell phone. So really connecting everywhere. I think is something that is very interesting. I think that the infrastructure that Skype is built on is separate from what the infrastructure of all other voice over IP carriers, where they're using SIP for their distribution of their communications. We have a different infrastructure codec. So with that, you have to understand that we can't, because Skype was so global. Skype, when we bought this, so global, gives you the ability to really have a global presence without having to worry about, interconnection agreements. So with that, connecting everywhere, the neat thing I think here is really talking about Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac. When you're talking to your customers, it's really about, hey, don't worry about it. You can use it anywhere. And that's why I talk about the soft phones. You got to push the soft phones, because if they have their iPad, they want to still be able to make the call, right? If they have their Android device, they still want to make the call because they still have the app. If you push the IP phone or the phone that's sitting on the desk, chances are they're not going to be willing to actually, make those calls on other devices. It's kind of one of those scenarios where the cat is chasing its tail. All right, superior audio video experience. I think you're looking at this, optimized meeting with Silk, and that's really the thing that we use. We use Silk, and the other voice over IP carriers are using SIP infrastructure, and that's really the defining situation, the defining technology that's really going to help you understand and sell this product. You have the USB device switching and optimization, video call monitor with call control. If you're on any one of my calls, you see that you can do meetings, you can do polling inside of it, you can record it, and you can have it available for everybody. Sam, do you have anything on this particular slide that maybe you talk to your clients about that seems like a optimal or like a great thing?
Yeah, so this big benefit is not only cost reduction, full featured phone system, but you can work from anywhere, any device, anytime. And then, ability to, with this same Skype for Business, not only you can do full PSTN calling, but, other things like screen sharing, and, you can get rid of WebEx and go to meeting and do, like we are doing the Skype meeting broadcast. So the customer can, with a single tool, they can do a variety of things, and the new exciting add-ons coming to Skype for Business will make it even more powerful.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much. All right. So some new releases, and they're coming out so very soon. We are going to have Auto Attendant. We're going to have call queues, Cloud PBX, Hunt Groups, and the PSTN conferencing and calling feature together. I want you to understand that this is coming right down the pipe, and it is ready to go. So I know that I think a lot of the customers that were on Skype right now, within just the small, the medium-sized business environment, didn't have that auto attendant, and they really wanted it, right? It wasn't for business. Sam, did you run into any of those clients and you were saying, oh well, hey, I need to have auto attendant, otherwise I can't move forward?
Yeah, for sure. Without auto attendant, customer cannot move and call queues. They have existing those capabilities, and if they don't have that in the Skype for Business, they're not gonna switch over. So many customers, decent size do have requirements. Some customers they don't, but some do.
Okay, so if you had like two categories, you'd be able to take a look at like your customers who already switched and the ones that didn't switch. And now that we have auto attendant that's coming out in a very, very, very close, you're gonna be able to switch those customers, right?
Oh, for sure.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it came out, we're testing it. It's amazing how well it's done just on the small business, right? When you're having single phone lines, but the Hunt Groups and the auto attendant, it will then finally compete with every other voice over IP carrier there is. Remember, the big difference here, and when you're positioning this against any other scenario, it really comes down to, would you like to have voice over IP, right? You'd like to have unified communications, right? But also, would you like to have the latest and greatest software? Would you like to have unlimited PSTN calling, local and long distance? And would you like everything to work together seamlessly? Do you use that when you talk to your clients? When you're pitching Microsoft products, Sam, do you use hey, it works because it's created by Microsoft and it's already embedded in all the code as opposed to plugins?
Yeah, so the integration is a big USP, unique selling proposition. So, it's all integrated within Office. Outlook integrates with Outlook, integrates tightly with your contacts. So, same contacts show up there. Integrates with your calendar. So if you are free, busy, it tells you the guy's busy with another meeting. So that integration is a big selling point that other carriers are unable to replicate.
I would tell them it's a piece of cake. Putting everything together, as opposed to always have to, find plugins from other different, right? It works. And I think that's where you really want to talk about. It just works. All right, the next thing is PSTN calling. Okay, simple call management, emergency and location services, and it's completely integrated. So we have all of our contracts, we have all of our central offices already allocated. So you can basically rest assured that there isn't going to be a phone call that anyone is not going to be able to make. The cool thing, I think we already talked about this, was the simple call management feature. It's really just you're basically taking the call and you're moving it to someone else. It also comes with the emergency and location awareness. Now, this is a question that you might be getting as you're talking to potential clients, just because we're the latest, UC company or UC provider, right? Where all the other organizations already have the E911. Well, we also have the emergency dialing with the location identifier. We can also provide, SIP trunking as well. So you can use that. And a lot of companies are using, direct access links, their express route links to ensure that they have great quality and great quality of service. All right, so that was Skype for Business. Now let's get in. We're going to switch gears real quick. We're going to get into, enable a mobile and remote workplace with enterprise mobility plus security. So we have suite up there. It's changed. It's plus security. We always go into this very first package here, enable a mobile and remote workforce. Obviously, this is too small to even read, so we break it up for you. All right, so we're going to get into the customer, the market, and the partner opportunities to help you understand how you're going to position this. So, before we get into this, Sam, you and I were talking earlier. Give us your thoughts on customer needs. What are they saying? What are they thinking? And how are you positioning it?
Yeah, so this EMS, enterprise mobile security, is basically now, BYOD is a norm, where companies have new employees coming into their workforce and they're working from their own devices and working from their location and working from different customer locations. So how would you, protect and secure organization information? So, the EMS suites provides them ability, users to log into different websites with a single sign-on. You can remotely wipe the device if your employee loses those devices. You can remotely, restrict it so they're not copy-paste to other areas, and then you can also encrypt information with email and documents. So they have limited functionality where what they can copy and what they can share to other people or print and so forth. So it's all about empowering remote users work from anywhere, but without compromising the security and privacy of the organization.
So your customers are basically coming to you saying security is an issue, right? And they want a secure need, but they don't want to spend $5,000 to $7,000 on a piece of hardware. Yeah. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Because in the past it used to be pretty not only complicated but expensive proposition. We get businesses asking us all the time, hey, we want to have them work remotely, but they cannot do this, and we were scratching our head, how to do that. But now with the EMS, all of those things are possible.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think for SMB is a big target, but it's just been so expensive that they're like, okay, maybe we'll just use some antivirus software, and hopefully that'll keep us, clean. But the reality is, no, it is not. But EMS really gives an affordable add-on for any small business as long as they're doing Office 365. Okay, market opportunity. So this is neat. Think about this. Mobility spending will reach $32 billion by 2018. Identity and access management growth over the next 3 years will grow at a clip of 131%. 43% of SMB employees work at more than one location. Think about that. Who's just sitting in their office anymore, right? In brick and mortar. Everything is changing, and they're going to have a lot of different devices. And this is where this becomes really powerful, because you can help them lock in their information to their company, their company network. All right, so the partner opportunity. Now, Sam, do you see this as a big partner opportunity for you to sell to your clients or potential new clients?
Yeah, so existing customers who we empowered them with Office 365, they realize now they work outside the office a lot. So we can go back and say, hey, how and then they have people come and go. So now we can go back and start having that conversation. Hey, you're already using Office 365, but how are you securing it, your confidentiality and privacy of the company? And how are you compliant with the HIPAA or FINRA and other compliance? so forth. So, this is a very good upsell for our existing customer base who are on Office 365, and also for new customers who are not ready to switch to Office 365 because their existing system works fine, but their existing system is unable to deliver this EMS that Microsoft can deliver on top of Office 365.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So I think from the partner's perspective is you can tie two things in. You're basically tying in a security aspect that's very inexpensive, and you're also tying in the security of their mobility. I think security and attacks are the key, psychological triggers that you're going to see out there from the customer perspective. And I think if you can help solve those problems, now you become something different. If you can package those things, that's where it becomes accelerate. That's where you accelerate from it. All right, so let's get into what is the Enterprise Mobility Suite. Basically you're managing devices and apps, helping people get control of their mobile devices, that their employees use for work, and then you're also protecting shared information. So you're helping SMBs to protect sensitive information wherever it goes. Sam, what are your thoughts when it comes to what is enterprise mobility?
Yeah, so exactly that's what it says here. Empowering mobile workforce but still securing and protecting company information. And a lot of time you will see the employees, they open a lot of ticket with their IT department. Hey, I forgot my password. So, it also allows them to, multi-factor authentication for their employees who can say forgot password, received a code on the mobile phone, and they can self-service reset password. That alone saves them, a whole bunch of tickets and so forth. So, if you look at all the features, it's pretty compelling.
Yeah, I bet you those IT departments are turning blue in the face. You're just like, oh my God, stop asking me to reset. You can't, you got to remember your stuff. But having EMS, that's the best way of doing it. All right, Azure Active Directory Premium. Sam, explain that one to the group.
Yeah, so what AD Premium does, it's, if a customer is on Office 365, they already have a Azure Active Directory. But with the Azure Active Directory Premium, they will have access to over 27,000 different websites where they can single sign on, and Microsoft is keep adding more websites. So you just give one login and they can log into all different websites without you have to give them your company login information, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, what have you, 27,000 different websites where you can give them a single sign on very easily. You can enter password without giving their password to them. So they can, so if an employee leaves, you just have to terminate their Office 365 password and they lose all the access, so forth. So similarly, it also has the multi-factor authentication with Azure Active Directory Premium.
Oh,
that's self-service
awesome.
password.
So single sign-on. That's single sign-on. That's your trigger. That's what you're talking about. And the 27,000 websites. All right, Intune, Microsoft Intune. Sam, tell us. I mean, you're the expert here. I love talking to you and asking you these questions. Tell me about Intune and how you kind of describe it to your customers.
So Intune, is again, how do you manage these mobile devices? How do you restrict so that they don't copy and paste information from company apps to their personal apps? So they cannot copy from company Outlook or any other system to their personal device. And also you can easily deploy apps. So, if you say this, team members need to have this app, and they will automatically get it on their mobile phone. If they lost their phone, you can, ring it, you can find out where it is, or you can remotely wipe it. If an employee is terminated, you can remotely wipe the data, which you can't do if you don't have that Windows Intune.
That's amazing. Yeah, combined with Office to prevent copy and paste from company apps into personal ones. That's one of the things. Remotely remove corporate data. Wipe that. I mean, it's managing those devices. It's keeping the security of the firm in place. All right. So, and the last one here, how do you describe Microsoft Azure Rights Management Services Premium, RMS, to your clients?
So RMS, information rights management, is not only for compliance reasons. So HIPAA compliance, FINRA, and other compliance. When you're sharing private information with our customers when our customer, when they're sharing private information with their customer, a lot of time they have to comply with a regulation, and this ARM allows them to do it. So they can share a document on email, and then they can put a restriction that it cannot be forwarded, or it expires after a few days, or you can terminate immediately if you can see a report when and where this document or email been accessed, and you can terminate the access if you see any suspicious activity, so it does prevent it going from a wrong hand. So you can, this is the way to protect confidential, customer information or company information. This is the only way to do it.
Wow. Thank you. That's awesome, Sam. That's why we have you on. You're an absolute expert here. All right. So the next thing we go into is always project managed or packaged IP. And I think what's really important about here is really still understanding the project services. If you're doing this on a project services base, it's fine. You can get a 35% profit margin on this. You're setting up. You're looking at their offices. More of a you're looking at their network. You're helping them design a plan, whatnot. And then you move to managed services. We always talk about that. Okay, now you're adding on one component, but really where the money really is in packaged IP, and that's really taking Office 365, Skype for Business, and EMS, putting it together, packaging it, making a name, and then having a much higher margin. So we talked about getting a bigger margin with maybe including their telco services, a higher margin with possibly adding MSP tier 1 support, right, where you can get it for 10 and and then sell it for 30 or 40, part of the package. And the differentiator is then they can't line item you. You're basically helping them solve some problems. So the insights to maximize the profitability is really focus on identity and access security as a core need in a mobile first environment. Add device management as a productivity enhancer. And then lastly, sell peace of mind. Sell peace of mind, right, to them, and a managed service environment. That's what you're doing. That's how you're really getting it out there. All right, partner resources. I want to go through this pretty quickly. Evaluating your Microsoft support options. If you don't know about this, you really need to pay attention here. It is unbelievable. So there's really 4 different ways that you can get support from Microsoft. And basically, Microsoft part MPN Silver and MPN Gold. It's Silver is $2,000 a year and Gold is $5,000. And with that, you get some services. You get signature cloud support. You get tele account specialist, pre-sales assistant, sell deploy support services. You have it's pretty good, right? But where I think partners should really start thinking about is when they want to start scaling their business as they're growing. Can they take along 3 or 4 $90,000 a year engineers? Yes, maybe you can, maybe you can't. But how about this? How about if you spent a quarter of that and were able to get a lot of those things done that they normally do? So for $14,500 a year that you can pay monthly, you can get advanced support for partners. And that's really services account manager, break fix support, health checks and risk assessments, proactive workshops. So they'll also give you, comes with a signature, right? But the pre-sales assistance, which is really awesome. Self-deploy, suggest services. They can help you with, okay, how am I strategically going to do that? And community support. They also envision that. But where we're seeing a lot of partners who are really making that jump, they're going from $1 million to $1.5 million to $1 million or to $2 million. They're actually doing the Premier support, and it starts at $26,000. But it is unbelievable. And once again, you can do it monthly if you need to. But it comes with a lot of different app development manager, developer queues, application support, health checks and risk assessments, along pretty much everything else the other 3 come with, plus this. And you can actually add on to that, because we find some customers have, they're spending, $50,000 a year on Premier, but they're doing it for, very large customers. But look, you can have, rapid response on-site support. That's amazing, right? Dedicated, support team that is just for you guys. Sell, deploy support services, and then 24/7 problem resolution services. And those are the add-ons to that. Really something awesome. If you need to find somebody who's going to help you out with that, we put an email up there. It's for Chris Worth. and it's cworth@microsoft.com. Just say Sherman Crancer sent you as a referral. He's happy to talk to you. There's just some great options there. All right, so let's move into the next one. Reminder, E5 trials and Skype preview is available. I don't know if you know this, but there are some things available, some trials there, so you can use it. If you aren't currently using your IUR rights or whatnot, you have some trials. And so get a sneak peek on the products and features. You can click on the link. This PowerPoint is in aka.ms/PLG Power, where all the PowerPoints are. So you can just go ahead and grab it and use the links here. And then you're also welcome to sign up. There's a link there to sign there. And then next, the partners can sign up for at the skypepreview.com or for the full E5 SKU trial today. You can go ahead and get that done today and start using it. So it's all for Microsoft partners that are on the call. All right, next is registration is open for Drumbeat Grow Office 365 selling workshops in the West region. So with this, these are level 200 sales trainings, and this is for companies who have sold, from 10 to 20 deals. So they're in that second stage. We're trying to help them get to optimize, and it's a workshop, and it's a workshop that's available for you to come in. I'm helping to put them on. I'll be in Phoenix and in Denver, and we have Justin probably going to be doing the Irvine, the LA, with Demetrius up in San Francisco. Unbelievable workshops. Go ahead and click on it and see if there's a date and time that works for you. It's one day, and really, I think it'd be really great. A lot of different great things that come out of it. All right, let's move into partner questions. All right, is there any contest out there relating to MCC? Yeah, there is. The drone one I just talked about. Send me a video testimonial, and I'll send you one back. It's really about me sending it to you. I just want to show you that you can do it too. That's really the idea, okay? But we're going to give out a drone. We're going to put everyone's name in a hat who does it, and we'll raffle it off next week. So you have to have it completed by the end of this week. I want to get into one thing here, and I want to ask Sam this, because Sam is also a CIE facilitator. And I think CIE and MCC work hand in hand. Absolutely. So Sam, tell me, what are the benefits of doing CIE in MCC?
Well, I believe CIE and MCC goes together because, you don't want to do death by PowerPoint. The customer, when you go buy a car, you want to first test drive it. So CIE, which stands for Customer Immersion Experience, allows customers to do that. So, there's a couple of ways you can do CIE. They can either bring them to a Microsoft Technology Center where we are, and you can Microsoft will provide Surface devices with a sample tenant. Everything is set up. There's a sample inbox, sample SharePoint for their industry, and all of that. So they can, you can bring customer into that environment, ask them, hey, which are the problems you are facing today, and see, if we can show you how the new ways they can do the same business process. Similarly, nowadays you can do a virtual CIE, so you can set up a virtual desktop, and you can do remotely to the customer, so they can log in to that virtual environment from their office, and you can walk them through it. Okay, what are the problems you are facing in your organization, and let's see if we find a new way to solve that problem in this Office 365. It has a complete environment set up with Office 365, with CRM, with complete Skype for Business, with PSTN calling, sample SharePoint website, sample data set, and everything can imagine, with a sample by DLP thing. So you can see how they can use enterprise mobility security, DLP, and everything. So a lot of customers, they like to test it. But there are different kind of customers. Some customers are visual, some customers are auditory, but most customers, they want to feel it. They want to feel how the product is before they make a purchasing decision. So that's what this CIE environment, and when you combine with MCC, it's, I think, the best marketing strategy out there.
Yeah, because you can use MCC to get an association to send people to your CIE session, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then your close ratio is significantly higher in a CIE environment. Would you agree with that statement?
Strongly agree. There is nothing, and it also makes the attendance go much higher, because now people are interested in attending the event. They are actively involved throughout the whole 1 hour, 2 hour, how long they are actively involved in the process. And rather than you show up and throw up, which is most salespeople do, you are asking them question, hey, what are the problems? Show us. And they are testing it and they're playing with it. And you do 20% of the talking, while the other people are doing 80% of talking. And you take a note of all the problems they are having and what are all the aha moments they get, and you take a note of it. You write it down, and you can you hone on it and to win the deal.
Thank you. All right, so where do I go find associations? Because I get a lot of partners asking me, hey, Sherman, can you just get me some associations? It's guidestar.org or the irs.gov. Right there. People have to register there. You can actually find a lot of great information from that. So what is a good amount of hours a day I should assign to MCC? I would say that you put, as far as the, production and kind of, getting yourself out there. Remember, we're networking. This is a networking environment. We're trying to do seminars and webinars for you. Spend about an hour a day, sending out new emails to new associations or working on your craft or practicing. But 1 hour a day, I think, is fine. Next one is, what is MCC? Microsoft Community Connections, if you don't know, it's a way that we provide education to the business community, right? We are providing 4 things. 1, tech tips that we send to our partners. So you're the partner, you're doing this. Tech tips every month. A series of 12 webinars that you're going to be putting on, that we're producing. $5,000, could be about $5,000 in software, and 2 CIE events. That's what MCC is, and it really enables you, the partner, to kind of fly under our flag as we get you into the association. It's great. Next one, who is EGen? So EGen is my partner. Sometimes I wonder if she's on a tropical vacation, but she's not, because that's when she's gone for like those 2 days. We can't have her gone. But she's my partner inside. She's up in Washington. And if you need to get a hold of her, the email is right there, v-ejon@microsoft.com. If you can't get a hold of me, EGen's always there. She's always there to help out, unless she's on vacation, maybe the tropical vacation. All right, Project LeadGen next steps really comes down to, if you haven't downloaded the modules, I really need you to do that. Go ahead and go to ready to go, or aka.ms ready to go /PLG. We ask you that you send out 10 emails, to associations per quarter, so that you're actively pushing forward. Now, you need to record all 12 of your webinar events. I mean, this is so direly important. You need to pre-record all 12, because what you can do is that when you're talking to associations and they don't want to have somebody to do it in person, you say, no problem. Fine. What we'll do is we'll give you the 12 presentations that you can put on your website, right? And then now I get 24 hours a day, 365 days a week, free advertising. So one of the things you should be doing, and if you haven't done it already, is record all 12 of them, and maybe we'll have a contest to see who can actually do it first. Because I'd love to see those, because it helps you put your name out there. Imagine that, free advertising from the call. So, the benefits is you get included. You talk with me and Sam. You can come to our, if you're in the program, we're going to help you out. And I fund some of Sam's events. And he's a big proponent of MCC. It's really important. All right. In summary, we talked about Skype. We talked about EMS. We talked about selling. We also have Sam. If you want to get a hold of Sam on the phone, 949-432-7600. Sam, just say thank you so much. It's great to have you on.
Anytime, Sherman. You're most welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and hey, Sam's a great partner. Talk to Sam. If you're not in doing Office 365 stuff, give him a call. He is really good. Hey, so next week we have Tech Data. One of my good friends, Justin Hampton, is coming on. He's going to be talking about what Tech Data does, how they help our partners increase their overall margins and revenue streams. We are so lucky to have him on here. You have the links here. And lastly, I'm going to say this. I send out an update to the calendar because I changed the link on it. Now, if you see an update, a calendar update from me that says, please open, update important, accept it, because that's the new update. If you're trying to use old, PLG calendars, you're going to be in the wrong meeting. So this is what we got to do. Anyways, hey, everyone, thanks so much. My name is Sherman Crancer, Partner Channel Development Manager for the Western Region. Thank you so much for coming today, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.